and welcome back. You've tuned into Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, the show that promises to sport the hottest trends today in trade and Mubina Kapasi, and the markets at this point of time seem to be continuing that recovery rally. It's a neat 0.5% uptick on the Nifty. The Sensex is gaining 230 points. As the broader markets are underperforming a tad bit. But we have with us today on the show Soumya Sharma, ET Now's research analyst, Kunal Bothra, and today we have with us Swati Hodkar, technical research analyst with Nirmal Bang. Thank you to all of you for joining in. Good morning. And let's start off with today's big newsmaker, and that is Bajaj Finserv. Came out with its numbers yesterday, post-market hours, a consolidated profit jump of 32%. Total income has gone up approximately 44%, so no complaints over there. We have some individual categories as well, like insurance, etc., which are important for Bajaj Finance. Life insurance and shareholders profit after tax has come in at 112 crore rupees, so a bit of a compression over there. And there is one important parameter, that's the persistency ratio, which has improved across tenure. So net Bajaj Finserv is seeing gains of 2.7%. Kunal, Tata Elixir, what is it that you are witnessing in the way the chart's moving there?
Very interesting chart, Mubina, because generally we don't talk of this stock. At least the last few months, we've not spoken on the stock. But on the daily charts, there is a parabolic star breakout, which is an indicator of a trend reversal of sorts. You try and move into the granular aspect of looking at it on the hourly charts, and there is an inverse head and shoulder breakout on Tata Elixir. So on multi-time frame, this stock is now indicating a strong reversal of sorts. The indicators are extremely oversold, and when you see such a sharp, or expect a sharp, rally, I think that could happen pretty soon for Tata Elixir. So I'm suggesting a buy on the stock at current levels with a target of almost 905 and stop loss to be kept at 840. Okay,
that's Tata Elixir for you. By the way, there's some news and updates coming in on Jet Airways, and this is with respect to some of its planes. Let's go across then to my colleague Utkarsh Chaturvedi. Utkarsh, it looks like the lessors are pulling the plug on Jet Airways, especially with with regards to its planes post the suspension of the operations.
Exactly. So as you said, now the lessors have started believing that there is no hope left when it comes to the revival of Jet Airways, because when a temporary suspension happened, what Jet Airways also told SBI and everyone else also is that they will make sure that the planes, even though they are grounded, they are not deregistered, and lessors don't take back their planes. What has happened in the past 1 month? Well, we have been told that almost 90 planes have been already deregistered by the lessors. There are 5 left, and these 5 also are pending the approvals of DGCA. So one thing is very clear, that lessors do not really believe that there is anything left. What it does for the revival plan of Jet Airways as well is that till this point of time, you thought that you put in money, and then you have an airline with so many planes, you just have to pay them and the lessors will get the plane back. Now it's a negotiation, again. So in the end of the day, you are left with an airline with no top management, no lessors, no planes, only some of the few planes they own, which are anyhow too old and they want to really get rid of them. And then the employees are half. So by every day, if you see, the situation is worsening, and now, it's only prayer which is left for Jet Airways really to get an investor, because in this condition, where you have nothing really left, it's better to start a new airline rather than an airline with a 9,000 crore rupees of debt and no planes, no employees, and no top management.
Yeah, well, a wing and a prayer, really. That's what Jet Airways at this point of time seems to be clinging their hopes on. Thanks a lot, Utkarsh, for that. Employees gone, operations gone, slots gone, airplanes as well gone, and of course bidders as well gone. And like yesterday we told you, that Jet's lenders are actually reaching out to the bidders that earlier put in their bids, asking them to consider buying Jet. So the sad story for the airline continues. Stock is down 2%. Let's move on to result reactions then. And Soumya, we just caught up with the management of JK Tyre, who said that the fourth quarter was in fact the worst quarter in the year gone by for the company. What exactly were the key parameters?
Well, Mubina, talking about the top line growth, it was at 18.5%, but still on the bottom front, the high raw material cost dented the growth out there. In fact, the profits saw a degrowth of over 78 to 79% compared to the last year. Even this resulted in a margin contraction from 14 to 10%. In fact, the rising raw material cost has indeed dented the company's financials. As far as another update is concerned, Balfour Manuel has been appointed as the managing director of the company. In fact, the stock today has paid the opening losses and now is trading in green, up by over 0.8%.
Well, I suppose you could say it's the impact of their interaction with ET now, but yeah, certainly recuperated all those losses on an intraday basis. Swati, Z Entertainment, solid volatility witnessed in this one. What would you advise traders to do, or even those investors who may have positions in the counter?
Well, Mubina, we have seen that from last 3 months trading session, this particular counter is just falling from 480 levels to 300 marks. After a large correction, we have seen that it's just forming a support at 300 marks. Even the momentum indicators such as the RSI showing some positive divergence at the current level. So we might see some bounce back rally which might take this stock towards the 370 to 380 level. So I will suggest, just to play this pullback rally, I will give a buy call at the current level. Place a stop loss of a 345 for immediate target of a 370 to 380 on higher levels.
Okay, that's a strategy that Swati is recommending on Z. Bajaj Finance, meantime, today continues its uptick. In fact, it's among the top Nifty gainers after the company delivered its fourth quarter numbers yesterday during market hours. Today, a slew of brokerage reports, and most of them seem to be maintaining their optimistic stance on the counter. BNP Paribas, HSBC, MK, all of them have a buy. JP Morgan as well has an outperform. Only Credit Suisse is maintaining an underperform. They believe that at 6 times the FY21 book price to book, the market is essentially building a 38 to 40% uptick. That's Bajaj Finance for you. 5% higher now as we speak. It's definitely at the day's high. Kunal, of course, the big ET Now news break with respect to Jeevan Financial. We at ET Now told you first back in April itself that Nitin Chugh will be appointed at the helm of affairs for Jeevan Small. Today it's come true. And Kunal, we've seen the sharp spike and then subsequently the downtick in the stock price.
So it's it's telling you about the nature of the stock trend, Mubina. The stock is into a broad consolidation, and generally after a strong rally, if you see a consolidation, and that too more whipsawed consolidation where you see more volatility and the stock tries to test the resistance and then the supports almost regularly, I think it's a sign that the stock is resetting its new trend. I believe that the stock is consolidating for maybe a breakout which potentially should head up higher for the stock price. I think if the stock comes back to this lower end of the range, which I think is at around 300, 303 on spot levels, I think it could be a very good contra buy at those levels. And for anyone who's holding or having a time frame of more than 6 months, I think you can place a target of almost 355 to 360 on Ujjivan post that.
All right, continuing with the countdown then, Soumya, Blue Dart certainly is one number that the street seems to be giving a thumbs down to.
Well, yes, even though the revenues were up by 8.8%, the bottom line was down by over 62%. So there was a massive degrowth seen when it comes to the profit figure. In fact, the company's management says that the environment surrounding the industry was tough, leading to this downfall in the profits. So that's what's keeping the stock under pressure, down by over 5.7%.
Okay, Swati, Hero MotoCorp, we've been seeing increased traction in this stock price yesterday. Today as well it is higher. What would you recommend?
Yeah, Mubina rightly said, from the last 2 weeks we are seeing a very good momentum building up in these particular counters. As of now, this week the stock is plus by 2.5%. In fact, the interesting point is that from last 6 to 7 weeks we have seen that the stock is consolidation within the 100 points of 2470 to 2580 levels. Today it has given a breakout with the good volume. So I believe this rally is, after the consolidation, the breakout gives a very strong signal, and this rally is likely to be continued towards at least 2670 to 2740 all levels. So I will suggest to take a buy call at the current level for immediate target of a 2670 with a stop loss of a 2540 levels on the downside.
Okay, it's a buy from Swati on Hero Moto. Lupin, meantime, on the other hand, continues to go lower in trade. HSBC today has a reduced stance, and they've also lowered the target price on the counter to 680 rupees. They believe that the US sales in the fourth quarter did benefit from the Renexa sales, but still US sales had disappointed. And now going forward, they would watch for progress in key US products as well as the CGMP compliance, or the good manufacturing practices compliance. And yes, it's another 2% gone for Lupin, now at 761. Kunal, PVR on the other hand is seeing quite a nice uptake regardless of what's happening in the markets.
Yeah, the last, I think, 12 months, 13 months have been particularly extremely positive for the stock price. I think from 1220 levels or below that, I think it's just about gained traction month after month, making new highs on the short term as well as on the longer term time frame charts. And the good part is that the volumes in this last 1 month has improved significantly for PVR. So it indicates that there is a new participation or new wave of participation into the stock, which is healthy for a stock which is starting new highs. I believe PVR could be held into, even from a short term view, 1820 could be a revised target for the stock price.
All right, that's the view on PVR, 1.6%, and Kunal seems to be quite optimistic on this one. Soumya, what's the news on PNB Housing? What's the reason it's falling?
Well, PNB has in fact terminated its stake sale in PNB Housing Finance to General Atlantic and Worthy Partners. In fact, PNB, who holds close to about 32% stake in PNB Housing Finance, was about to sell 13% combined stake to both Worthy and General Atlantic, and this has been terminated and has been cancelled. Well, the stake sale had been decided to be at around 925.8 crore rupees each, but now it stands cancelled, so the stock tanking down by over 2.3%.
Okay, 2.7% gone for PNB Housing, though a recovery attempted over there. Swati, Titan is one stock that has been gaining very, very smartly despite the volatility we witnessed in the benchmarks. The stock price has continued to go higher, I think, for the last 9 to 10 trading sessions. In fact, it's at a record high. It even touched 1200 on an intraday basis. Your view here?
Yes, correctly, Movina. This particular counter is just doing very well from the last few months. Also, the fact that it is trading in upward rising channel on the monthly chart, which indicates a very positive signs. Higher tops, higher bottom formation are doing very well. I believe upside this rally is likely to be continued towards at least 1270, 1340 odd levels on the upsides. So those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on for an immediate target of 1270, and above that level I'm expecting 1340 levels. Whereas downside, the support lies at 1150, the immediate support lies at 1150. So those who are having any long positions, they can hold on but maintain the strict stop loss of a 1150 for an immediate target of 1270 and 1340 on higher levels.
That's a recommendation on Titan. OMCs, meantime, are in focus. They all seem to be declining. This is on account of the fact that oil is once again on the boil. We've seen a rebound combined crude prices to levels of just about touching $73 per barrel. That puts it at a 2-week high. Remember, Middle Eastern tensions continue to propel crude prices higher, and that does not bode well for OMC. So BPCL, HPCL as well as IOC are the key stocks to watch out for. IOC, in fact, will come out with its fourth quarter numbers as well later today. Soumya, ADAG stocks are buzzing in trade.
Well, this is on back of Reliance Nippon. The JV partner of Reliance Nippon, AMC, is close to buying majority of Reliance Capital's stake in the AMC. They hold 43% stake in the JV, but would be buying 32%, as they can actually maximum buy 75% stake in the AMC for an approximate, this incremental 32% stake is at an approximate value of 7470 crore rupees and is at a premium, stands at a premium of over 15%. Stock gaining, in fact, all the ADAG stocks gaining today.
Well, yes, that they are. Okay, quick break right here on the countdown of the big movers and shakers. Do come right back. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET. Now let's continue with the countdown of the movers and shakers, and we have Arvind Fashion that is seeing quite a fall today in trade, 9% gone. This after the fourth quarter numbers were not exactly impressive. Revenues were more or less flat, and we had the profit figure declining 27% on account of certain below the line items. Margins, however, was still steady, 6.5% in the corresponding quarter. This time around, however, they delivered 7.3%. But yeah, like I said, it's the below the line items that have impacted the bottom line. And yes, the stock price as well has fallen today in trade. Soumya, what's the latest when it comes to DHFL?
Well, DHFL is maybe selling 18,000 crore of its loans to US company, and has in fact is almost close to signing a non-binding pact with Oaktree. Well, this is what we gathered from the ET reports, and a successful deal with Oaktree will pave way for the sale of stakes in DHFL to a strategic partner, something which the street is waiting for. So let's see how this develops when it comes to DHFL.
Okay, 3.3% higher today in trade. Kunal, what is it that you like about the way the stock is moving and the stock price of Raymond is moving?
So the stock had given a strong breakout a couple of weeks back, I think from 740 levels to almost 800, 820, 22 levels which it had tested a few weeks back, and post that it's gone into a brief retracement of sorts. The stock has come back to its 200-day moving average. In the process of a strong rally and then a consolidation, it's forming a classic bullish flag pattern. The stock had not been extremely volatile when the markets were more turbulent, so that itself tells you that the change of characteristic of the stock trend. So I believe Raymond could be a good buy even from current levels on a positional basis. Targets of 840 plus and stoppers to be kept at 760.
Okay, so that is Raymond for you. Soumya, Praj Industries, how were the numbers?
Well, good set of numbers reported by Praj. Talking about the top line, it saw a growth of over 34%. Even the profits saw a growth of 24% to nearly 33.36 crore rupees versus 26.81 in the last year. On the EBITDA front as well, saw a growth of over 26.8%. However, the margins were slightly disappointing, coming in at 10.7% versus 11.3% in the corresponding quarter last year. In fact, when talking about the management commentary, they say that they remain really confident of continuing the growth momentum from here on and going forward. The stock, however, gaining slightly by over 0.8%.
All right. Well, moving on to a stock that is declining and how today in trade, and that's Vodafone Idea. It's the fourth straight day of losses coming in, and mind you, we're seeing losses of anywhere between 2 to 5% in the last 4 trading sessions each. And now the stock is once again at a record low, new lows touched for this one, sub the 12 rupee mark as well, 2.5% gone for the stock price. So I think another stock that's losing in trade is Hindalco. It came out with its fourth quarter numbers yesterday, and at 190, it is in fact at a 3-month low.
Yeah, correctly, Mubina. The overall view on this particular counter is cautious to bearish itself, since the fact that it's just trading below its all the important moving averages such as 50, 100 and 200 DMA. The interesting part is that the daily chart indicates that the strong has formed the head and shoulder pattern, and 2 days back it has given the breakdown of a neckline which was coming at around 195 levels, and the stock has just dragging below that levels. I believe the overall view is cautious. One can take a short position at the current level or say below 188 levels with a stop loss for 195. I believe that the stock is likely to continue its sell off towards at least 175 odd level. So it's a sell call from my end.
Okay, so it's a sell on Hindalco from Swati. Adlabs, meantime, has delivered its fourth quarter numbers and it's not looking good. Revenues absolutely flat at just 51 odd crore rupees, and the loss figure has inflated substantially. So from 40 crores that it delivered in the corresponding quarter, current quarter has seen a 228 crore rupee loss. And no wonder the stock price as well is tanking, 4.5% gone at just 7.4 rupees per share for Adlabs. Kunal, increased traction seen in Godrej consumer products today. What's the verdict there?
The FMCG basket, which was more beaten down, I think that basket is now seeing some sort of relief. Now, Godrej Consumers was one of the stocks which was going through a bit of a grind. The stock was consolidating, and when you see a resetting of a trend for itself, after a brief consolidation, you generally see a sharp rise, and the stock comes out of that consolidation. So I think Godrej Consumers today's chart pattern indicates exactly that. I believe that the near-term trend has changed for the stock price, and if the volumes and the price action continues and remains positive throughout the day, then I believe the stock could be heading for at least a 685, 690 range over the next 4 or 5 trading sessions.
Okay, 4% higher now for a Godrej consumer in trade. So, a big setback for Aurobindo?
Well, yes, it indeed is a big setback for Aurobindo. In fact, it happens to be the top loser on Nifty 500 and Nifty Pharma Index as well. The company's API facilities Unit 1 and Unit 9 are classified as official action initiated by US FDA. This is also for intermediaries facility of Unit 9, and the company has already submitted its initial responses to US FDA. Let's see what developments take from here on, and the stock tanking by over 7.3%. 2.3% on back of this negative news flow.
All right. Okay, Swati, we have the fourth quarter numbers for UPL that we are watching out for. What is the stock looking like ahead of that?
The stock is definitely looking very positive. The weekly chart indicates that the stock has given a breakout of its flag pattern, which was coming at around 975 levels. The volumes are really doing very well with the prices. So I believe this rally is likely to be extended towards a new high towards 1040 to 1100 on upper levels. So those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on a downside. 940 is acting as a very strong cluster supports level. So for any long positions, they can hold on with a stop loss of a 940 for immediate target of a 1040 and 1100 rupees on the upside.
Hold on UPL. Moving on, Kirloskar Industries has delivered a good set of numbers for the fourth quarter. Revenue has actually trebled to 11.6 crores and profits have surged almost 11 times. So it's a good set of numbers for Kirloskar Industries. Stock higher by 1.4%. Kunal, what is it that you're observing in City Union Bank?
So it's again a stable stock. The stock has been holding on to its 200 moving average for quite some time. There was a brief period where the stock tested its 50 DMA, went below it, but it's come back quite strongly. I believe then the overall chart patterns are quite bullish for City Union Bank, and also it's forming a bullish flag pattern on the daily chart. So a lot of positive price actions, both on the stock price on the daily as well as on the longer term time frame. I would expect the stock to head towards the 210 to 12 levels over the next couple of weeks.
All right. 1.7% gone for City Union Bank. Swati, Just Dial as well is a stock that's seeing increased traction for the last couple of sessions.
Yeah, exactly. The Just Dial from the last 3 trading session is doing very well. As of now, currently is also trading on a higher levels, 5% up. I believe this rally is likely to be extended because the stock has given a downward sloping trend line breakout with the good volumes. So 650, 670 levels are I'm looking on a higher levels, whereas the downside, the support lies at 590 levels. So those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on with the stop loss for 590 for immediate target of a 650 to 670 levels on the high side.
Okay, well, with that, we'll just have to stop at stock number 28. So, Kunal, Swati, Soumya, thank you for joining in on ET Now, sharing your the news as well as individual strategies. Coming up next is Market Signal.